Welcome to Insight Builder channel. Solopreneur's secret weapon. Building your company with Agentic AI IDEs. Part 1 of multi-part series. Before we dive into the building process of your own organization, you need to ask two important questions. Who is a solopreneur? What is solopreneurship? And why will someone take on solopreneurship? A solopreneur is a person who owns a product or a service and he delivers it to the customer by himself. There is no team members, but there is artificial intelligence support for varieties of tasks. Solopreneurship is similar to sole proprietorship, but only thing is there is going to be only one person who is going to take all the decisions and do all the work and take all the benefits. Why solopreneurship then? There are 5 different reasons for that. To begin with, the creative freedom. The product and the service is going to be created solely by that solopreneur. The outcome, the profit, the acceptance of that product all depends on the customer outlook. How the target demographics accepts that service and product is the key. But the creativity part is still with the solopreneur. Second is the independence. The solopreneur is answerable to himself and to the customers. He has to be sufficiently responsible and has to be credible, should have a lot of track record, good reviews, and a lot more. It's very similar to how you are going to hire a taxi driver or hire a person to move your cargo. The solopreneur is not going to be very much different from them. This looks very similar to a freelancer, right? Freelancer is going to give you a service or take a particular product and build it for you. But the freelancer is going to actually depend on a particular platform, or he might work on your project and then he might also have a job. But solopreneur is someone who is completely dedicated to giving the particular service or a product. So that's a key difference. Freelancer is completely different from a solopreneur. Right. Third, the financial potential. When you dedicate your time and effort towards a particular product, towards a particular idea, a goal, the financial potential will take time to materialize. However, the financial potential of a particular product, service, or a concept can be predicted, can be foreseen to a certain extent by using the ideas that came in the past. The solopreneur idea is becoming much more prominent these days because the entire the chain of things or the workflow that you need to follow to get a product or a service from the source to the destination, that is to the customer, has a lot of intermediaries right now. A solopreneur is going to go and break all those intermediaries and he is going to directly start interacting with the customer, which means there is going to be a lot of potential, financial potential right there, because all the inefficiencies of the intermediaries is going to be pulled out of the equation, meaning it's going to be removed from the equation. So once it is removed from the equation, that means the customer is also going to be benefited, the solopreneur is also going to be benefited. It's a win-win. Fourth, the personal fulfillment. You see the color is different. The reason is that many want a fulfilling life. I believe that you and I both deserve to have a fulfilling life, a life that has its own challenges. At the same time, the moments of achievement, the moment of pride, the moment of feeling grateful, All these moments are pretty important. When you are going to give a service, give a product, and get that feedback from the customer that, okay, the service had saved their time, say, their time of almost 10 to 15 hours, if they have done it by themselves, or if they have built that product by themselves, then that is a kind of a pride that makes me happy. And that could be something similar to this that will make you happy also. That is the kind of fulfillment that can push someone to enter into solopreneurship. Finally, the work-life flexibility. Okay, as a solopreneur, you are not going to work. Yeah, you are going to just live your life. Think about it. The goal or the final objective of a solopreneur is to give a product or a service that he loves and likes to give. Right? And when you are going to do something that you love and like, it's not going to be a work. It's going to be just living. It's like going to be like taking a walk in the park, or going for a jog in the morning, or playing with your playing your best loved sport with your friends. It's not about competition. It's not about gaining market share. It's not about cutting costs. None of those things. It's a very different kind of a mentality. This is different from the regular entrepreneurship, because there the objective or the incentives, the objectives are completely different from the incentives and objectives of the solopreneurship. Here, your objective is your own self-fulfillment and those surrounding you and the customers who come in contact with you, which is completely different when you're going to go for entrepreneurship. There is going to be a different set of equations. I'm not going to get into that, but people who are listening to this might actually see this stark difference once you delve into the rest of the discussion. Fine. We have seen why and what of the solopreneur. Next is the top 5 things you need to become a solopreneur. First is the goal. As I was discussing about the work-life flexibility and the personal fulfillment in the earlier slide, I was talking about doing or giving a product or a service that you love or like the most. So then and there, you must be thinking about the goals. The solopreneur is going to have a goal that is going to make him and people who come and touch him to feel comfortable, to feel fulfilled, and also to feel successful. These are the main kind of feeling that you need to try to inculcate. When it comes to the outcome, the customer who is going to come in touch with you must feel completely supported. He should get his problem solved. There is no other reason why he is going to come and connect with you. That is his only purpose, to come up with a problem. You take that problem, give him solution, and then he goes back home happy. As a solopreneur, you are going to give those services and products that will actually make that particular customer happy and satisfied. This is a very simple looking goal, right? But what is a product? What is a service? What way you are going to give? In how much quantity you are going to give? All these things are also going to become a part of your goal. When, for an example, in my case, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, I tell that I help individuals to build products and automate workflows with Agentic AI. This is something that I am dedicated towards. That is my goal, in fact. And actually, my end goal is something different. I want to make machines work instead of humans. But that doesn't sound really interesting, right? Why will you make machines work? Anyway, they are working already. So then I was refining the goals, and then I realized, okay, at the end of the day, I help people to use those machines in a positive and a more helpful fashion, automate them in the best possible ways. Then my goal changed. But the underlying theme of the goal is still the same, to make machines work. To support the goals, you need to have a tracker. The tracker, there are lots of applications available out there. But for me, a simple goal tracker for each day, a goal tracker for day today, a goal tracker for a week, goal tracker for a month, a goal tracker for a year. Just 4 different trackers, 4 different levels of details. Like once you have these goals written down there into the tracker is a simple text file which you can easily access from anywhere. Once that goal is achieved, you can just strike it off. It's as simple as that. If that goal is going to take some more time, just mention the time and then move on to the next goal. Never drop a goal. The moment you take on a goal, never drop it. There will be a time, there will be a situation where that particular goal will get solved by itself. Because you are consistently working, you are consistently moving towards achieving the goals. You might actually say, my goal is going to achieve 200K in 6 months. But what if you achieve in the 7th month? Won't you accept that? That is how it works. Yes, you are delayed by 30 days, but still you achieved that. Then what you are going to do in 8th and 9th month? So you have to keep on adjusting, but you need to achieve all the goals. With this mindset, with the mindset of achieving, with the mindset of growing continuously, the tracker, even a simple text-based tracker will be more than sufficient. But ensure that you are able to access it on anywhere, on your phone, on your laptop, on public laptops. Yeah, you should have a sign-in process or some way to secure it, but you should be able to access it anywhere. That's very important, and you need to be able to edit it also. There is another point I wanted to highlight. If you feel that there is a goal that's not actually moving anywhere, it's just standing still, then it's about time that you went ahead, looked at the goal, and tried to break it into smaller tasks. Think about the very smallest thing that you can do to make that goal move just one step. Fine. Let's go to the next. The network. I showed you the LinkedIn profile just a minute ago. What is a network? Network is a group of people who are ready to give you new ideas, come up with new kinds of services, challenge you on your ideas, and in fact support you to get new customers. Such a network is LinkedIn. You might be wondering, you don't see such a kind of a positive feedback about LinkedIn these days because it's a job portal, right? And you go to LinkedIn for a job searching. But see, I consider LinkedIn in a different way. It's a place where very different set of people come together and start sharing their professional knowledge, which is actually very important. Professional knowledge, the professional challenges that they are facing, the ideas that they are having, they share it openly. And when you go and mix with them, when you see, the main thing is when you see those updates, the posts, the kind of ideas that they are working on, it actually inspires. It gives you new ways to think about your challenge. It gives new ways to think about your customer. And in fact, it actually opens up a new demographic to approach. When you know that, okay, the particular group of senior leaders or junior engineers or designers are facing a particular kind of a problem and they're discussing about that routinely, then you'll know, okay, probably I can jump in and I can provide some solution. So that's where the network comes in. So that is a network. It's, yeah, you can always reach out to various kinds of webinars. You can go for the conferences. You can do physical networking where you go and have a face-to-face talk. Yes, that is all well and good. The most important point is when you have a treasure trove of information that is flowing right on your smartphone, I wouldn't, you don't need to give time. You have to just spend some 5 minutes to 10 minutes of your free time to review, is the post or is this blog or is this information that is shared by someone is useful to me. You have the world in your hand, right? That's one of the network that I showed, but you already know that even if you're watching it right now, this video on YouTube, then you know that YouTube is a treasure trove of information, right? There is so much information available there that people have no time to even take those information and review it. That much amount of information is getting pushed in. Taking those information, processing it, providing your attention to this information is done with the help of the goal. So you need to ensure that your goal is very clear so that you can use a network and work on the network accordingly. Next comes the presence, online presence. The network presence or having a video portal, video channel is different. You are actually using that to upload your content, upload your capabilities, and you are going to share your ideas. But presence is completely different. Presence is where you are going to show what you're capable of, what problems you can solve, how you solve it with some examples, and what kind of outcome or what kind of state you will be leaving the customer in after they approach you. That is done with help of the website that you build, and it is one of the most crucial part of any solopreneur's journey. Why? Because website is ubiquitous. In fact, website is a automated salesperson. Think about it. If you open any website, it's going to scroll from the top to the bottom, and there is going to be a call to action at the bottom, right? So what does a salesperson do? He does the same thing. He is going to explain you all the features. He is going to provide you all the challenges you are facing and how he solves it. And finally he says, okay, buy my product. Not very different from what the website says. Once I realized this, then I understood the crucial aspect of having a website. Even in the era of Agentic AI, there is going to be a requirement of something similar to the website. Okay, it's not a complete website, meaning it doesn't need to be having all the databases at the back. It doesn't need to have a blog, etc. It's just a web page. So just a thing that scrolls from the bottom to top. Like in case even this is a web page, if you consider it, even this is a web page. If I zoom out, you can see that I am scrolling it from the top to the bottom, and finally I give all the information in a single page. That's what the web page does. And having this presence is very important, and that is what we will see in the next video. How to create a website for yourself using Agentic IDEs. The star of the series of videos that I'm making. I made a similar kind of videos where I use Windsurf to communicate to executives and the junior developers, non-tech as well as tech, that how to use the IDEs like Windsurf or Cursor and develop softwares, develop kind of MVPs or proof of concepts in less amount of time and with massive impact. Apart from that, the Agentic IDEs have one important development recently, that it can build entire website and not just the front end or the back end. It can build both together and it can literally go and deploy it. So the Agentic IDEs have become very powerful. It is sufficiently powerful. It's not going to solve the world's all the problems. That's not something that we are after. We just want to solve the simple problems that the customers face. We want to automate simple things that we are already doing it manually. We have to just change the way we do stuff. And for that, Agentic IDEs are a wonderful tool. It's a tool still. You have to master it. You need to, master a couple of additional things for using this tool that we will discuss step by step in this videos. So we have the fourth part. Cursor is provided for 2 weeks free trial, so you can try out the full 2 weeks all the features of Cursor, and I'll be showing you the features of Cursor in the next discussion. But before you use Agentic IDEs like Cursor, you need to have some additional background knowledge that I will be discussing in a moment. The productivity and the skill. Okay, you might have a great goal, you might think of the website presence, you might want to work with the network, but all of these things, including the Agentic IDEs, can be useful only when you have a skill that is productive. That is first thing. You need to have a skill that is productive, and you need to also be productive, meaning you need to know how to balance the amount of time you are spending on learning, the amount of time you are spending on producing something or giving the service, getting new customers. So all these things are a kind of a productivity. In order to do this, again, the tracker is going to be required. So the tracker that you use for your goals and the tracker that you use for productivity matching is going to be very similar. But only thing is, the goals that you're going to set will be a little more longer in a longer time frame, while the productivity and the skill set will be much more detailed. It's like working at the tactical level, while goals are at the strategic level, right? So Obsidian notes, you can use it. You can use the regular text notepad or something like that for tracking also, which I was doing for quite some time. But then I got introduced to Obsidian, and this interface that you're seeing here is actually Obsidian interface only. It's a versatile note-taking app, and it does a phenomenal job, believe me. And it's open source also. You can actually pay for it for getting the cloud version of the Obsidian, where you can store all your notes on the cloud. But there are open source alternatives for storing it on the cloud also. But believe me, it's one of the important turning point in my solopreneur journey. Having a note-taking app that can instantly return the notes that you want, instantly return the picture that you are searching for, or the map that you need, is very critical, because you are the only person, right? You don't have someone to search the document or search the data and give it to you. You are going to do it by yourself. That means you need to master the technology, and you need to make the missions work. So that's how you can become productive. Instead of you doing something for 5 minutes, you do it in 5 seconds. But that comes with practice. We'll be discussing these things slowly and steadily. You can always raise a question to me and over the comments, or you can reach out to me on various channels that I've already shown, and I'll be able to give you some directions. If you look at this set of things, you can see that my goal is this: help to build products and automate workflows with Agentic AI. That's my goal. That's an example. The network that I am having, one of the examples is the LinkedIn network. When it comes to Agentic IDEs, all these tools, a programming language like Python, an Agentic IDE like Cursor, it can be Aider, it can be Windsurf, it can be any other tool that you are comfortable with. I'm just using Cursor because at this moment that is available on, it is having a very good output when it comes to generating code, and also it has a very stable and easy to use interface. So it is getting improved a lot. Third is GitHub. You can write coding. You can write code. You can get the Cursor like IDEs to write the code, and you can read the code from the Cursor IDE. But after doing both of these things, you need to store this code somewhere. And GitHub is a place where you can store the code without worrying at all. This GitHub is a free hosting service which hosts only your code. It can be any kind of code. It can be simple text file also, or it can be a very complex quantum entanglement code also. It will just store it, because at the end of the day, everything is text, right? Even your exe executables are finally text. So GitHub is something that you need to be comfortable with. And then comes shell. Bourne again shell, or the shell that you'll see in Linux, is one of the important automation tool that you can ever come across. There are lots of things that you can automate by using the shell. If you are mostly comfortable with GUI, Cursor IDEs and tools like Python can still help you to interface with those GUIs and automate the stuff for you. But shell goes at a very different level. It goes to the back end of the GUI and get the things done at the command level. You might not be proficient to that extent, but it's time that you started becoming proficient, because it's actually easy. All you need is to spend time, and all you need, the second thing, is to have a goal. So once you have a goal, and once you want to become a solopreneur, then you will start thinking about creating the necessary time and start putting effort in automating stuff. Then I discussed about Obsidian MD for note taking, and then I discussed about presence. At this moment, I have a presence in github.com. So if I go to this place, this particular link, this is where I store all my code, and this is where all the exploration of AI related tools are done, and I store for sharing it with others. This is how you can actually have your presence, but this is going to change in a couple of videos. You will be seeing that. Okay, now comes the important question: why website? So I already discussed this at the earlier stage. You can showcase the products or services. You can build credibility and trust. This is important because you own a website. It is there on a server. It's kind of an address for your home, right? Or address for your shop, or the location from where you are servicing. It actually adds a lot of credibility, and it states or shows that you are responsible and capable of delivering the service. So these things are very important when you are going to connect with the customer. It helps to generate leads because it's going to, you can drive traffic. You can ask people to look at, it's kind of a visiting card. You can ask people to look at the website to understand your service. If they have any questions, they can ask in the website itself. It provides information and support, as I was telling you right now, and enhanced visibility and reach. So these are all one of the important reasons why having a website is critical. And we are going to build this website, a front end and back end website, completely ground up by using Agentic IDE by yourself. I'll be showing you what things you will need to know ahead of time, so that when you're working on the Agentic IDE, you can easily grasp what it is doing and you can ask the right questions. That is one of the things that I am not seeing in any of the other videos that I have come across. People show a lot of things that can be done, but the main thing is like, why will you do it? I mean, what is the purpose of it? If you know coding, if you're already doing this stuff, if you're a software engineer or working for a MNC, yeah, it makes sense, right? You can actually automate stuff already. You know to code already. You can speed up that coding process. But what about someone who doesn't know to code? Or what about someone who is starting to code? How he can leverage this? Or what about the students who are coming into this into this world and they are trying to figure out how to use these tools? That's where I thought, okay, I need to add more value, and that you will see in the next discussion. What else can be automated? So this is a question that I was pretty curious with when I was thinking about the Solopreneur journey. So there are a lot of other things that you can automate also with not just Agentic IDE. You can use the extensive ecosystem surrounding the sales, marketing, inventory management, invoice management, customer support, finance, analytics, product development, content creation, and personal productivity. There is so many free services as well as trial-based services that you can use, and most of this, almost all of this, can be also done with help of various coding projects that you can build into your own website. You can have your own task management, your own analytics, web traffic analysis, financial management, content creation, everything built into your website. It is all just tools that are again written with help of coding languages like Python, JavaScript, Rust, and C#, or C# or C++. The main point is that they solve the problems, the challenges that each of these teams face: the marketing, the workflow team, the inventory or customer support team, the financial team. All these teams solve problems, right? And all of these problems are solved by varieties of tools. We'll be looking at a couple of tools as we go into this series of videos, and we will see how we can use the tools like IDEs like Cursor and get the things done as a solopreneur. We have seen, just to recap, why we need to have a website, and we saw that 5 things that you need to become a solopreneur. We dove into each of the things that you need: goals, agentic IDEs, networks, presence, and productive skill, we understood who and what is solopreneurship and why someone will enter into solopreneurship. So I believe that this part 1 of the series was intriguing enough for you to at least look at your work, look at your products, or look at the service that you're offering, and start searching for the goals that you can dedicate your life towards. With that, I would like to leave this video with 4 words, that is, be curious, be curious.